Exhibit 4 I will represent to you is a transcript of the press conference that was held in Washington, D.C. On or about May 30th of 2002. And I'd like to ask you to turn to pages 32 and 33 of this press conference. Excuse me, I meant page 30. And down at the bottom of page 30, line 22, there's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Fitton. And it says, "Good morning, my name is Tom Fitton. I'm president of Judicial Watch." Do you know who Judicial Watch is?
Yeah, I heard of them.
Okay, and what do you know about Judicial Watch?
Well, I didn't know anything about them until I found that they were representing Mr. Wright.
Okay. And do you know anything about them other than that it's an organization that's representing Mr. Wright?
They call themselves the watchdog, the judicial watchdog.
Okay. What is that? Have you learned anything about that? I don't know much about it myself.
Well,
so.
I learned a little bit that they watch everything that the Department of Justice and their affiliates are doing.
Right. And publicize things that they feel need publicity, I take it.
Yep.
All right, and I take it you've learned that they hold press conferences.
Yes.
All right. So Mr. Fitton says he's president of Judicial Watch. Before I read Mr. Carmody's declaration, I'd like to read an excerpted portion of a sworn statement made by our client, Mr. Wright, that was released to Mr. Wright under the Freedom of Information Act. It's a public document. It was approved for release with some excisions by the Department of Justice and the FBI. Did I read that
yes, sir.
Correctly?
Yes,
all right.
Sir.
And you are familiar with the sworn statement of Mr. Wright where he recounts his accusations against you about refusing to record another Muslim, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And without going through it...
Just I need to clarify one thing, please.
Certainly.
He gave his statement in the year of 2000.
Right.
The whole situation happened in '99.
Right.
There were several communications back and forth that you have copies of between myself and Mr. Wright or Mr. Vincent.
Correct.
None of these communications included an accusations or allegations that I said I will not record this person because a Muslim doesn't record another Muslim.
Okay.
Are you aware of that?
Well, whether I am or not, we can go out and have a drink, and I'll answer all your questions. But
well, I'm just trying to put this on the record.
Sure. You put whatever on the record you want on the record.
Yes, sir.
So we've fast forwarded here, but I want to get back to your point.
Sure.
And go over those documents.
Yes, sir.
But I want to fast forward here to May 30 of 2002. And Mr. Wright's, Agent Wright's affidavit, and without reading the whole thing, wouldn't it be fair to say that his sworn statement, where he makes accusations against you, was put on this record?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, turn over to page 35, and Mr. Fitton is still the speaker. Starts at line 7. We have here the declaration of, in addition to the document I just read from, the declaration of Barry Carmody, which is sworn to under oath and which is signed today. And Wright's is sworn under oath as well, the document that you all have. And then he reads, quote, "I, Barry Carmody, a resident of Hillsborough County, Florida, hereby declare as follows." And then there follows a recitation on public television at a press conference, the statements that are contained in Exhibit 3. Would you agree with me?
Yes, sir.
All right. And would a fair reading of Exhibit 3 be that Mr. Carmody, who was the special agent in charge of the Sammy Al-Arian investigation asked you to record a witness and that you refused?
No.
You don't think that that's fairly stated in this, the accusation?
The
not that it's
accusations,
true.
yes.
Yeah.
He's accusing me of that.